Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome, a very, very warm welcome to the official opening ceremony of the Sakya Temple of Peace, a project by Sakya Chozong, the Tibetan Buddhist Society of Canberra. This project has been 30 years in the making and is a place dedicated to peace, harmony and wisdom for the people of Canberra, Australia and the world. My name is Greg O'Rourke. I'm a member of the executive committee of our society, and I pay respects to the Triple Gem, the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha, and all the lineage masters of the Sakya tradition for their great kindness in preserving the Buddha Dharma throughout the centuries. I'd also like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we meet today, the Ngunnawal people, and pay my respects to the elders, past, present and emerging. It's wonderful to have all of you here from across Australia and abroad, and in particular, I would like to introduce and extend a very special welcome to our guests of honour here with us today. It is my great privilege to welcome our spiritual patron, His Holiness the 43rd Sakya Trizin, Gallagher Rimpche, current head of the Sakya lineage of Tibetan Buddhism, founder of the Sakya Academy in India, and champion of many humanitarian and education projects around the world. We're also delighted to welcome Senator the Honourable Katie Gallagher, Federal Minister for Finance and former Chief Minister of the ACT. We're very grateful, Katie, for your presence and your ongoing support of our community here in Canberra. We would also like to welcome someone who needs no introduction, our beloved Spiritual Director of the Tibetan Buddhist Society of Canberra and the inspiration behind the Sakya Temple of Peace, Lama Rimpche. We also welcome Mr. Karma Singye, representative of His Holiness the Dalai Lama in Australia and also New Zealand and Southeast Asia, who will present a message on behalf of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And we welcome Ms. Caitlin Tuff, member of the ACT Legislative Assembly, member for Brindabella, who is joining us today on behalf of the ACT Chief Minister, Mr. Andrew Barr. Also joining us on stage is our wonderful president of the Tibetan Buddhist Society of Canberra, my dear wife, Rachel O'Rourke. And also, last but not least, I'd like to welcome Venerable Upali from the Sri Lankan temple just across the road. It is wonderful to have you here, Venerable Upali. We'd also like to welcome other distinguished guests today. I hope I'm not missing anyone. Archbishop Christopher Proust and Mr. David Smith, the federal member for Bean. A warm welcome to you all on this very special day. Now, to begin the proceedings, it is my great pleasure to welcome to the podium our spiritual director, Lama Rinpoche. Rinpoche, you have been the cornerstone of this project and whose steady hand has helped guide us through many, many years to make this project a reality. Let's give Rinpoche a big round of applause.
You've been doing this for a while? Homage to His Holiness Dalai Lama, whose portrait you can see on far left of those of here and left of me. And then His Holiness Sakya Kongma Trizin, whose portrait hang on the far left end and your right end. Your Holiness 43rd Sakya Tenzin Gyanavaji Rinpoche, Venerable Sangha members, Honorable Federal Finance Minister Senator Katie Gallagher, Caitlin Tuff, MLA ACT Legislative Assembly, representing ACT Chief Minister Andrew Barr, Mr. Karma Singye, representative of His Holiness Dalai Lama in Australasia, Madam President Rachel O'Rourke, and Executive Committee members, generous benefactors, tireless volunteers of Sakya Chozong, Tibetan Buddhist Society of Canberra, last 37 years, and all members of our sister centres in Australia who have come here today from Rockhampton, from Townsville, from Sydney, Forster Tangkari, Central Coast, East Gippsland, Brisbane, Adelaide, Melbourne, and New Zealand. and Mr. Ugalla, the president, as well as members of the ACT Tibetan community, Kongan Chorbela and Kongan Lakpala, former minister and representative of His Holiness Dalai Lama, and fellow Tibetans, and especially to Archbishop and David Smith, who we couldn't put on the podium because we didn't have time, because they keep giving many talks elsewhere. I'm sure you are content with that, so we might have next time them to speak. But I'm sure they will understand due to time constraint. And all my fellow Tibetans, and especially my relatives who have traveled from USA, Canada, Taiwan, and ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, and 1 or 2 dogs I saw. Tashi Delek and a warm welcome. Over the last 4 days, His Holiness and Venerable Sangha members conducted traditional consecration of this temple. It was the most authentic 13th century-old sacred Tibetan blessing ceremony ever to be conducted here in Australia. Thank you, Your Holiness. Your tradition, your vigor of selfless bodhisattvic deeds, and the dynamism made all who were fortunate to take part in the ceremony to feel the blessings of your lineage as prophesied by Padmasambhava. Today we are attending conventional opening ceremony of Sakya temple piece. It started, as you witnessed, with a greeting of you all with the traditional scarves. Just feel the soft and pure silk, which we all want you to develop that heart in yourself. An unveiling of the plaque of the memorial stupa of Gyabje Chogi Trizin Rimpche, and then the group photo on the front step that Stephen, our photographer, dictated us for 2 minutes or more. I'm sure you will have the enjoyment of seeing result of that submission. And then ribbon cutting and the lighting of the butter lamps. So the remaining part consists of 2 parts. First includes keynote speeches from the distinguished guests, reading His Holiness Dalai Lama's message for the occasion, cutting of the cake for the opening, presentation of gifts to some of our top 10 benefactors. After that, there is a cultural performance. This will be followed by afternoon tea with sweet rice, Tibetan cookies, and a temple opening cake. If you don't take sugar, like me, just skip it. After that, you're all invited to take part in a Tibetan circle dance, those of you who are mobile. This temple is a contribution of an authentic Tibetan Buddhist culture of peace and compassion as advocated by His Holiness Dalai Lama. The world is suffering from conflict over minor differences of religious beliefs, ethnicity, and regionalism. We need to pay attention to the idea of one world, one humanity, religious harmony, and mutual respect. These are the core teachings of His Holiness Dalai Lama, who is the best known, timeless world leader ever known in the world. Tibetans are scattered around the world, but no one knows who they are. But it is the universal message of peace and compassion of His Holiness Dalai Lama that the world will always remember that His Holiness Dalai Lama comes from Tibet, the roof of the world, a country that was once independent nation, that was illegally occupied. Don't you want to admit that? This is the fact that no one can deny. If we Tibetans do not protect our traditional practice, speak our language, and practice our unique way of life, then why are we doing in outside Tibet? We should remember, when you see this temple, what is this reminder of? His Holiness Dalai Lama took liberty to visit as many as 10 times to Australia. I don't think many countries enjoy that privilege. To promote his 4 goals. Tibetans have the responsibility to create our own center with the help of many well-wishers that are many, as you can see here today. I, as the sole Tibetan living here in Canberra, started this lonely effort some 37 years ago with the help of many Australians whose common interest in Buddhism and Tibetan Buddhist culture with pure diligence, we now have this modest temple which is here to remain as a genuine seat of Tibetan Buddhist culture, language, and tradition. 15 years ago, this was just a drawing on a piece of paper. With our strong network of students membership across the country, we succeeded to turn the dream into a reality. Now I invite all of you to take up membership if you are not one already, which many of you are, especially to Tibetans, to support, fulfill the aims and objectives of this society, which is completely in consonant with His Holiness Dalai Lama's vision. Last year, His Holiness Dalai Lama, Your Holiness rather, assumed the role of spiritual patronship and gave us momentous assistance to realize this project. The ACT Tibetan Community too promised to support in writing, to work together so that the Tibetans and the Tibetan Buddhist centers unite their effort together. In the 90th birth year of His Holiness Dalai Lama and year of compassion, we have the opportunity to truly assist, fulfill His Holiness' legacy by acting locally to build the community with vision, diligence, and discipline. I remind you all, the 5 aims and objectives of the society is exactly in consonant with any good community organizations. Ours is no exception. So we need to work as we live in one world, one humanity, religious harmony, as well as preservation of individual culture. So today is an opportunity to remember, reflect, what does this temple mean to each of us? People come to Canberra seeing the war memorial, only too sad to see how many lives was lost for little or no benefit. Are we going to build more war memorials? Hope not. Let people walk to the peace, that whether the peace is making peace with themselves or with fellow human beings with whom they're not talking, with whom they are still holding grudge and anger, blame, and so on. This temple will create a template soon by working with the federal government and no doubt with ACT government, how we can create a national register for peace so that people can start taking steps to make peace with themselves and individuals, and ripple effect of that hopefully will stop all the crap and the violence that we are all stressed by. So let's pray, but all your presence, your Holiness blessing, that this temple, as it is dedicated for, brings peace and enable people to remember what this is for, and as every person will have something to walk for, with or without any beliefs. Thank you very much. Just to say a few words in Tibetan to help some elder Tibetans who don't understand. Tring the Sakya dine shide dine kan the young tent and temperature ba mila sumchu so doing la nga de mi longbala charche gyachan charo mare bola kande kanga chungwa ngalang sangman kensere tende kanga che mi longbala charche ine de so togoda zam main be de mi longbala lebgol goden ji yire samche ine samno cheme chera chungsum tangche da padula bezon hyuje kunde jawai shinu longbadela tingchu pewa ngen jason pewe kawla ine zego tradition ge tende ki chojunang la lengu shuyi lo zawa hyapkura shujuchu da na shi lama cheta namen na zo mangbo pebyo labar de jamgo yapse mangbo pebje tonzo namge tukye da chelabla tene inganzo ke 가르치우래다 매전 충중래 매나양 에네 갈래갈래 내 산에기 흉다 미망게 겹겨 주여발 때는 뭐 동아도 법치고래 법아 현다 연나 배제 담았다네 댕겐다시마도 로바칭게 휴 여와 다 받을 휴 통만요 이나 가시게 바담 배저시 난게 요래 이나 장매게 누가 냠봉게 내가 지금 여봐 통편도 다 디셈바 줘야지래샤 이네 데 공반 대신에 달에 경고 진정으로 된데 쉬지 얘는 애게다 르모체라 다니 얘네 쇼소디게 언제 나로나 제게 제라 면라 기수도 포기스 얘는 안에다로 제나 나 주쟁아 대용티네 근데 샤지도 에레마도 르모체다 공로 단다 진진바 시선 배는데 면라 기수도 쉐로나 근데 마음발라 베베초들이 슝 베드테네 야고 주에게 얘네 토끼만은 공마 yap세남게 쳐다 상생게 강메세게 롱고나네 중월마도 먼저 봉화스르기 지트베게 누바케게 요 말에 이 송자다 드린데 알아서 버리 쳐다 제션 포모 카시 가이 대화 연계다 칠칠로는 배배 공부 전부 시해제 근데 라슝 던져다 린지 냠보는 누반 냠봉제 얘네 야영 소음도 요래, 야영 소신 요래, 다 가리 소음도 좀 미유 가르는 거, 내가 건네 타네, 다 나도는 뭐 가르는 거 요래. 익샤망보서, 저시망보샤, 라량어서 다른 톱다야다, 충산에, 다 지기하게는 act locally, think globally 쓰기도 하. 다나시, 섬노 야침볼, 되네 그 점링 콜라지 규 섬노 땅나야, 내가 그 소소산에 대사 다가랑 치고래, 송마대 힌두 강라, 산에게 면대 수도. 다 추된데 다른 라마남비 두께다 메망게 요르단 에소소게 레다 가르스금 배전에 되는 중월에 마도 발라 직톱고사다 민다 ene 다시 여러 베베나 지소나라 된다 개개 냠뇽 냠소 뇽마뇽 나르모요도 겨모요 소르게메 아이나 소소 누바체네 내가 지기요와 나르모 뇽지요와 제 중문에 엔트링데 키는 상매기 로람 남발에 되는 중국 인도 이게 버릭 상말라 다 공부하고 시에제 누가 년부 나제 공동 그 공시 주변라 차례 가는 난구도 내는 가는지 이 샤샤샤 제전 주제 용지 누가 년부 나외라요 센터에 저 뭐지 겸건 진지를 뭐지 군대인다 겸내 견두기 대인들라 이는 kenan 가르서 그래 다 배교연은 베로나스 이는 가능서 냠 냠봉게 내가 지기 된데 요 타서래 라마 야와 제베 추진도 소소 추더리 흉다 바이롱발 간데 강아요 다 시사라와 대인도가서 배존난 거기도스 이는 간서 시우제 연저 시고 뭐 이거 마다양 정부시나 양아는 저 지류 탭등에 샤다게 난게 지류 탭등에 제지 인 당연히 지류 싸와니 딱바리 탭 마터 탑시데 지류 탭 자외 강하게 오라 네 데스 콤반든 보시기 요 얘기를 선배 진짜 돌람 얘기도 이 뜻을 쉬는 게 에네 정말 투지시셔야
Thank you very much, Rimpche. Now I would like to welcome to the podium Senator the Honourable Katie Gallagher. Please come.
Thank you very much. Can I begin by acknowledging all protocols? I acknowledge Your Holiness, community and faith leaders and the broader community here at this important event of opening the Sakya Temple of Peace. I can't think of a more appropriate time to be at an important celebration like this, and it's so lovely. And I feel very privileged to have been asked to participate and be with you all at this wonderful celebration. I acknowledge everybody who has been involved in this project. I know from my experience in the ACT that projects like this don't happen overnight. They are often pushed for and supported by lots of people who not only secure land but then do all of the work to create the building and infrastructure that we are privileged to sit in and marvel at today. I feel again very honoured to have been asked to participate in the plaque unveiling and the ribbon cutting ceremony and also lighting of the light in the temple. So thank you very much. I think there is a lot and I always reflect on this when I participate in ceremonies and spend time in with different community organisations across Canberra, but one of the real strengths of our community, and we're so privileged to have your attendance here, Your Holiness, in our city. One of the strengths of our city has always been, I think, the fact that we have come, outside of the Ngunnawal and Ngambri people, we have come to this city and created a community together. And we celebrate people from so many different countries, so many different faiths, so many spiritual beliefs, and yet we live, for the large part, in harmony. And not only in harmony, but that we all engage with each other constantly and learn from each other, and learning the teachings of the Buddhist community of compassion, of tolerance, of peace. Could not be more central to the kind of city that David Smith and Caitlin and I are so privileged to represent. So thank you again to everyone who has been part of this project. I think for me, taking away from today, as I work on all of these other matters that trouble all of us at this point in time, I will be bringing the feeling and the support of what is happening here in this temple today to the work that I do over coming weeks. So thank you very much, and for the opportunity to say a few words.
Thank you very much, Senator. Now it is with our deepest joy that we humbly invite His Holiness, the 43rd Sakya Trizin, our spiritual patron and head of the Sakya lineage, to address us. Your Holiness.
탑게 투지 샤제 레소로 생겜메도 되지 본점 바세게 롬보 더보 집에고 샤제 야베 샤블라 차자로스. On this most auspicious occasion, I would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodian of the land, the Ngangwal people, and pay my respect to their elder past, present, and emerging. I would also like to extend my respect, greetings, and Tashidirect to the Sangha members, to Honorable Minister of Finance, Senator Kate Gallagher, the representative of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Mr. Kamasenge, Kathy Toff, representative of the ACT Chief Minister, the member of the Sangha, representative of the traditional and distinguished guests and dignitaries gathered here today. It is with deep joy and great gratitude that I join you for the opening ceremony of Sakya Temple of Peace here in Canberra. This temple stands not merely as a physical structure, but a sacred space dedicated to the cultivation of wisdom, compassion, and inner peace, values that are profoundly needed in our world today. What makes this occasion especially meaningful is the establishment of the traditional Tibetan Buddhism temple in a very heart of the nation's capital. Such a presence carries deep symbolic significance. It reflects the meeting of an ancient spiritual wisdom with a modern multicultural society, rooted in the rich heritage of the Tibetan Buddhist art, philosophy, and practice. This temple embodied a living tradition that has been carefully preserved and transmitted over centuries. To this tradition, take from here is the center of nation's life. It is a powerful reminder that inner peace or inner values, compassion, ethical conduct, and wisdom are essential foundation for any society. A traditional temple is not only a place of worship, but also a representation of a complete spiritual worldview expressed through its architectural, symbolic, and sacred images. Every aspect of such a temple is designed to guide the mind towards clarity, balance, and awakening. It is present here also stand as a testimonial to Australian a spirit of inclusiveness and respect for culture and spiritual diversity. It offers an opportunity for people from all backgrounds to encounter and engage with the profound teachings of the Buddha in an authentic and accessible way. I would like to express my sincere appreciation to the ACT government for facilitating the land upon which its temple is established. Such a support reflects a spiritual openness, mutual respect, the recognition of the importance of spiritual and cultural diversity. Tibetan Buddhism has for centuries upheld the teachings of the Buddha with an emphasis on the union of wisdom and compassion. The establishment of this temple in Australia represents not only the continuity of an ancient spiritual lineage, but also its meaningful contribution to the contemporary society. In a time when the world faces many challenges, conflicts, uncertainty, and a growing sense of disconnection, it is essential to create space where individuals can come together to reflect, to learn, to nurture inner peace. His Holiness the Dalai Lama has said, peace starts within each one of us. When we have inner peace, we can be at peace with those around us. This reminds us that the true peace begins within our own mind and naturally extends outward into a community. This temple of peace is therefore not only a Buddhist, but for all who seek solace, wisdom, and a deeper sense of meaning. It is my hope that it will serve as a center for learning, dialogue, and spiritual practice, benefiting many generations to come. I would also like to acknowledge and commend all those whose dedication and generosity have made this vision a reality. In particular, I wish to express my heartfelt thanks and offer my warm congratulations to Lama Chödra Rimpche and all the members of Sakya Temple of Peace for this remarkable achievement. The creation of such a sacred place is truly the result of a collective effort, faith, and aspiration. On this auspicious day, I offer prayers that this temple may flourish, that it may become a beacon of peace and compassion, and all who came here may find comfort, inspiration, and path towards inner awakening. Thank you for all for present of your support. My peace and happiness prevail for all beings. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Holiness. Your presence on this historic day is indeed a great blessing to this temple, our Sangha, and the people of Australia. And now it's time to celebrate. We invite His Holiness and Senator Gallagher to cut the cake to mark this historic day of Buddhism in Australia. Please come forward this way. I think that deserves a bigger round of applause. Let's give another round of applause. Okay, we are now deeply honoured to receive a message from one of the most beloved spiritual leaders in the world, His Holiness, the 14th Dalai Lama. I invite to the podium His Holiness's representative in Australia, Mr. Karma Singye.
Uh, His Eminence, the 43rd Sakya Tenzin Kyamgön Gyana Raja Rinpoche, Honorable Finance Minister Senator K.D. Gallagher, Lama Choda Rinpoche, members of the Sangha, distinguished guests, and my dear friends. It is my honor and privilege to join you on this very auspicious occasion. On behalf of the Tibet Information Office and the Central Tibetan Administration, I extend my heartfelt congratulations to Lama Choda Rinpoche and the dedicated members of the Tibetan Buddhist Society on the opening of the Sakya Temple of Peace in Australia's Capital Territory. This inauguration is made even more auspicious by its timing. We gathered during the 90th birth year of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. For 90 decades, His Holiness has served as a global beacon of peace, non-violence, and oneness of humanity. There is therefore no more fitting tribute to His Holiness' life work than the establishment of this Temple of Peace during His Holiness' 90th birth year and the Year of Compassion. We are truly blessed by the presence of His Eminence, the 43rd Sakya Tenzin Kyamgön Gyana Rinpoche, whose guidance and teaching continue to inspire countless practitioners around the world. Your Eminence, your presence today brings immense blessings to this sacred occasion. I sincerely thank Your Eminence for gracing us with your presence and for bringing your blessings to Australia. I would also like to express my sincere gratitude to our honored guests, Minister Senator Gallagher, and all the distinguished guests for joining us today. Australia has a long-standing tradition of supporting the multiculturalism and religious harmony. So I take this opportunity to thank the Australian government and the Australian community for their continued support for the Tibetan people in preserving our unique religious and cultural identity. I pray this temple will serve as a place for fostering inner peace and cultivating kindness and compassion. May all who enter here find peace, and may its dedication contribute to the well-being of all sentient beings. And now, His Holiness has graciously sent a special message for this occasion, and I now have the honor of sharing this message with you. A message from His Holiness the Dalai Lama. I extend my warm congratulations to you all on the opening of the Sakya Temple of Peace at its newly constructed facilities in Canberra in the Australia's Capital Territory. It has been an honor for me to visit Australia many times since 1982. I have been deeply touched by the friendship and the affection shown by the people from all walks of life, as well as by their interest in my effort to promote loving kindness, compassion, self-discipline, a sense of oneness of humanity, and inter-religious harmony. All the world's major religious traditions convey a common message of warm-heartedness, self-discipline, patience, and compassion, even though their philosophical perspectives may differ. Some believe in Creator, while others hold that we are our own master, and some may be non-believer. While the idea of single truth may apply to an individual, within a community, there can be multiple perspectives. This diversity is like a garden filled with many different flowers, each contributing to its beauty. One of my principal commitments is to encourage interfaith dialogue and understanding. By focusing on shared value of love and compassion and tolerance, we can promote greater harmony and cooperation among people in different faiths. I often describe Buddhism as having three dimensions: religion, philosophy, and science. Its religion dimension is mainly for Buddhists, while its philosophical and scientific aspect offer value to humanity more broadly. Through its understanding of mind and emotion, Buddhist psychology provides practical methods for cultivating inner peace, resilience, and compassion from an academic perspective. I also encourage followers of the Buddha to become a 21st century Buddhist. relying on steady reasoning and critical inquiry supported by scientific finding. In this regard, access to a well-equipped library would be especially valuable, particularly one that includes resources on Buddhist psychology for those interested in studying the training of the minds and emotion. If we are able to develop a warm heart and a peaceful mind in this way, we will be able to contribute to the well-being of the wider world. With my prayers and good wishes, Dalai Lama. Thank you very much.
And support for the Buddhist community in Australia. And so on behalf of everyone here, Senator Gallagher, please accept this gift. It is so wonderful to have your presence here with us today on this very auspicious occasion. All right, so now as part of the proceedings, I'd like to invite our President Rachel.
Our major benefactors of the Sakya Temple of Peace. We have received donations from over 1,000 people to make this place a reality, so it's hard to call out everyone's name today, but we do thank every single one of you for contributing not only monetarily, but also all the volunteer work, all the efforts that have gone into making this temple happen. As each name is called, actually, we've just skipped a bit, sorry, I have to come here. We'd also like to firstly present gifts to some of the main people who built the temple. Firstly, I'd like to call up Lance Bowman. He's the builder. Yep. Lance has been the builder and project manager of the Sakya Temple of Peace. He oversaw the whole project from the very beginning. Lance, your dedication and commitment to making this temple a reality has been unwavering. And we thank you and your wife, Jo, who work very hard in the office as well, for all of your efforts. Next, we'd like to call up Daniel Colo. Where's Daniel? There. So many of you know Daniel. So if you look up at a lot of the painting that's all around, Daniel did much of the artistic work of the temple as well as the stupa, the memorial stupa that you see out there. He's dedicated his life to this project for the last almost 2 years, so we can never repay your kindness, Daniel. Thank you so much. And we congratulate you on all your hard work, and you should be very proud of what you've achieved here. Thank you so much. Now I'll skip to the other bit that I was talking about. So yes, all the donors, thank you so much. There are a few, though, that we'd like to call out in particular who've been especially generous on this project to make it a reality. So again, I'd like you to come forward to receive your gift from His Holiness. Perhaps in the interest of time, we might hold the applause till the end, until they've all been presented. Maybe we could have a group photo with everyone at the end. So first of all, Anthony Sun, would you like to come up? The next is Peter Howarth couldn't be here, but his daughter Jackie will receive on his behalf. Jackie. Julie and Owen Tinian. Just wait over here. Maybe if the donors can come over here. Tammy Dixon. Couldn't be here today, so she's accepting on behalf of both of them. Margarita Van Oosten. Colleen Phillips. Kath Boswell. Where's Kath? Oh, there she is. Peter Morgan. Sylvia Johnson. Don Burt. You go to His Holiness. Ben Adcock on behalf of the Manjushri Buddhist Centre. Fook Fu. Is Fook here today? Oh yes, thank you. I'll ask Daniel and Lance to come up again. Maybe move along. Yep. Daniel, just be careful. So let's give a big round of applause to all these donors.
Okay, thank you to you all. I think that deserves another round of applause for these amazing people. Thank you for your generosity, kindness, and the fruit of your efforts we can all see around us. So congratulations to you all. Okay, so now what we'd like to do is I'd like to invite to the podium Miss Caitlin Tuff, member for Brindabella, who today is representing on behalf of Chief Minister Andrew Barr.
Thank you, everyone. Good afternoon. I'd like to start by acknowledging that we meet on the land of the Ngunnawal people as traditional custodians of this land and recognise any other families with connection to the lands of the ACT and the region. And I wish to acknowledge and respect their continuing culture and contribution they make to the life of this city and this region. I'd also like to acknowledge and welcome any other Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who may be attending today. But importantly, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge His Holiness, the 43rd Sakya Trizin, His Holiness, the Dalai Lama's representative in Australia, Lama Chokdak Rinpoche, Senator the Honourable Katie Gallagher, Mr. David Smith, the Catholic Archbishop Christopher Prowse, and importantly, everyone who has come along today. This room is completely packed, and that is such a wonderful sign of how much this means to the community and how much this means. I'm walking in, I heard someone say they'd travelled down from North Queensland to be here. So that I think that's such an incredible sign of how much this temple and peace means, not just to Canberra, but to the whole of the Australian community. So thank you everyone for being here today. It's an absolute honour to be here on behalf of the Chief Minister, Andrew Barr. The Chief Minister sends his apologies that he was unable to be here today, but he fondly remembers the sod turning here at the temple in 2017, and he wishes everyone the very best for this momentous occasion. The ACT government granted the land to the temple in recognition of the Tibetan Buddhist Society of Canberra's dedication to the community for, at the time, over 25 years. And, I think now that's well over 30 years. I think you were saying 39 years. That is an incredible dedication to Canberra and the region. So welcome. So at the time of the dedication of the land, it was a first step towards building a space for worship, learning, and bringing the community together. And today we're fortunate to see that journey come to its completion. This temple is also a reminder of what can be achieved when a community works together with patience, purpose, and dedication. This project didn't happen overnight, and I think we can look around the room and see the countless hours of love and dedication that went into making this the space it is today. It's been built through tireless efforts of so many, and all united by a shared vision. And I wanted to take a moment to thank the builder, painter, and all the donors who've made this possible. Thank you. The completion of the Sakya Temple of Peace is a significant milestone, not only for the Tibetan Buddhist community, but for Canberra as a whole. And as someone who lives not too far from here, I do drive past here quite a lot, and I've really noticed over the past, there's always been activity, but over the past few months that activity's really increased and there's been that momentum building, and so it's so exciting to be here at the opening. Canberra is proud. It's a proud multicultural city that's enriched by its traditions, cultures and faiths of people from many backgrounds. And places like this temple help strengthen that diversity by creating spaces that will bring people together, not only in faith and prayer, but also in friendship and mutual respect. In a world that can often feel fast-paced and divided, spaces like this remind us of the importance of reflection and living together in harmony. And I hope it stands as a symbol of peace and spiritual belonging for generations to come. So on behalf of the Chief Minister and the ACT Government, I extend our sincere congratulations to everyone involved in the construction of the Sakya Temple of Peace. Thank you for welcoming me here today, and congratulations once again on this momentous achievement. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tuff, and please pass on our warm thanks to the Chief Minister. And finally, to close this part of the proceedings, I would like to welcome to the stage the President of the Tibetan Buddhist Society, once again, Rachel O'Rourke, who has coordinated so much of what you see around you today. Let's give her a round of applause.
Thanks, Greg. Good afternoon, distinguished guests, Your Holiness, Lama Chokdak Rinpoche, Senator Katie Gallagher, Ms. Caitlin Tuff, Mr. Karma Singh, Archbishop Christopher Prowse, and Mr. David Smith, and everyone here today. It's great to see you all here. It's such a happy and joyous occasion. For those of you who I haven't met, my name is Rachel O'Rourke, and I'm very honoured and humbled to be the President of Sakya Losal Chozong, the Tibetan Buddhist Society of Canberra. I'm so happy to be part of this important chapter of our society where we have now completed this beautiful Sakya Temple of Peace. I'm deeply grateful to all who have made this possible, as it has taken the work of many hands to bring the vision, Lama Chokdak's vision, to reality. Many may ask, what does the Sakya Temple of Peace mean? The Sakya tradition, as you may have already heard today, is one of the 4 major schools of Tibetan Buddhism and was established in Tibet nearly 1,000 years ago. The Sakya tradition has an unbroken lineage passed down from master to master, and we are so honoured that the current head of the Sakya tradition, His Holiness the 43rd Sakya Trizin, is here with us today for the opening ceremony of the Sakya Temple of Peace. As Lama Chodak Rinpoche mentioned, His Holiness has been here throughout the whole week to conduct all the necessary rituals and practices to fully consecrate the shrine and Gompa Win here today and all the beautiful statues that you see here. We also thank His Holiness's entourage and Lama Norpu from Tala Monastery in Nepal, who has been here for over 2 or 3 months now and has been instrumental in assisting with all of these activities. We envision this new Sakya Temple of Peace to be a place where people from all walks of life and backgrounds can come to find a sanctuary of peace, wisdom, compassion and kindness. Our society will also continue to provide classes and training on how people can find and develop peace within themselves. As we all know, peace in the world can only be achieved if we first find inner peace. We are also committed to working together with our friends from other spiritual and religious communities in order to create more social cohesion, understanding and harmony in our community. I thank you all for attending today and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the celebrations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rachel. Now, before we wrap up, just we'd like to make one more special offering to Miss Caitlin Tuff. If His Holiness could please present a kata and that beautiful tanka to Miss Tuff on behalf of Andrew Barr. And thank you to everyone for being here, and especially to all the volunteers. Like, we had so many people, especially over the past few months, whether it was bringing a paintbrush or helping out around here. All of your collective efforts have resulted in this accumulation of merit. So thank you to you all. And now that the speeches have concluded, we'll now invite everyone to make their way outside to the veranda, where we have a wonderful program of cultural performances waiting for you from our Tibetan community, our Bhutanese friends, and we'll even try to sing a few lines as well. We'll see how we go. Thank you, everyone, and let's continue the celebration together.